Greetings everyone, time for a video. This is going to be a tool haul of sorts, kind of probably a little different. Lee Valley, I guess it'd be tool haul number 2. I picked up a few things from Lee Valley. This is going to be a slightly longer video because I'm going to talk about what I got in this. There's no separate videos for this stuff. I don't intend to do any of that. It's all pretty straightforward things, but some things I picked up. I picked up things from Lee Valley for many years. Been shopping there a long time. One day I'll cover a bunch of the other stuff I have, and I mean I have bought a lot from them. Anyway, let's crack it open and get into it. So I noticed they had something on special some time ago, and about, I guess at this point, a couple weeks, maybe a week or so ago, so I decided to think about picking up an order, and ended up getting it. What do we got in here? I'll pull everything out and then you can see it. Give me a second here. See here. Number of stuff. Various items. More, honestly, most of this is woodworking related, but that's one of the things I do, is I do a lot of woodworking. So, oh, there's one more in there. Hang on a second, let me move this box and spread this stuff out. Alright, so everything out. This was a package deal that Lee Valley had. They're clamping squares. What you use them for is if you're clamping like a box or something and you want to glue up something and you want to keep them square. You can use it also to clamp if like you're going to do screws into something too. So I've made these myself out of wood in the past. Hang on, let me grab some. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You have a rough idea what I'm talking about. I call them assembly squares. I just took some plywood and did a couple of cuts. You know, kind of it makes it like an L. And what you do is, if you're gluing something together, you do this, and then you can clamp on one side and then clamp on the other, or you can have like a deep clamp to go in, and you can use this to keep stuff square while you're assembling it. I saw these. This was I think 17. Yeah, this set, which is 12 of them. All of these are 3-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch. Sadly made in China, but it is what it is. For 17 bucks, probably what you're going to get anyway. Different sizes for smaller and larger items. I figured $18, $17.50, something like that. Not a bad deal. And what happens with these they're okay, but you got to make different sizes, and it's like, why not? I'll pick up a set, see what they're like. I don't really predict there's anything really special about these. They do have one leg longer than the other. This is the short leg, and it's the long leg, and there's 4 to a pack, so you can use them wherever. You can do, in this case, you could probably do low and high, right? So you could have one down below and then have one up top. So if you needed to glue something together and assemble it, that's what you would do them for. So they call them clamping squares, I call them assembly squares. Like I said, you can always make your own. I've got another one of these, but I figured I'd give these a shot when I'm working on stuff, especially for the smaller stuff, which seems to be kind of handy. Let's see, other things I picked up. This, just a buffing wheel. I think it's a 6-inch. Yeah, it's a sewn one. I was surprised I didn't have a buffing wheel. Thought I did, but I think maybe I got torn up and threw it away, and I just forgot about it. I don't use my grinder that much, but when I do use it, it's pretty handy. In theory, you could use this on a drill or other things too, but in my case, I'm going to use it on my grinder. This is from Deco in New York. At least that's what they're listed at. I don't know if this is actually made in New York, but kind of interesting. And then, same vein, also picked up a drill press hex arbor. This is for chucking one of these or other things, but usually this. You could also put it in a drill press, or you could put it in a hand drill and use it. So like you have, this would fit in a drill, or since it's looks like it's got the the indents. You could probably put it into like an impact chuck, though I have no idea why. And then you got a couple arbors and a nut. So it looks like the arbors are listed as made in China, which kind of sucks. So anyway, pretty cheap though. They weren't expensive. It's like a few bucks. Let's see, other things I picked up. So I picked up this. This is a Shenhua miter square, stainless steel. So it's a little different than, say, you know, regular square, like this small square that I picked up from Lee Valley a long time ago. Or, you know, this is a Starrett combination square. You know, like I said, you can see it's different. I figured I'd give this something like this a shot because I've seen it in use before. Decided to try metric because I've got plenty of imperial, or you know, standard style measuring, and it's a little different because you can of course put it up like this. It's got a, you know, just to give you an idea, it's got a flange so you can butt it up against something. They have a scale here, which is nice. They also have a scale here. Of course, you got 45-degree angles and then a 90 on the inside as well, which is kind of interesting. So what's kind of surprising is this is listed as a Shenhua, but it's made in China, which is a bit odd because Shenhua, from what I remember in the past, is most of the time is made in Japan, but I guess not. Maybe they've changed. Kind of sad, but anyway, that's what it is. I figure I'll give it a shot, see what it's like. I have a lot of squares, but including the plastic ones, which the flange is really nice. You know, like I said, I got these, and now this is a Swanson. You pick it up at any big box store, made in USA, which is nice. These are the plastic ones. These honestly are cheap and in some ways almost discardable. I wouldn't want to do that, but you know, that's what happens. One fundamental difference, of course, is that this has measurement, you know, in terms of that, while this is angle. But this is more of a rafter square than anything else, or a speed square is what they call them. Of course, if you're doing framing, you would use one of these. So, let's see, what else we got? Yeah, I picked up this. It's a Krebs cabinet hardware jig. The primary focus for this is really to do knobs and pulls on front of drawers and cabinet doors. I'd probably use it more for drawers than anything else. I've also made, just like I did with the assembly squares, I've also made like jigs that you can use to place, you know, like you're drilling holes for drill holes. I made this. It's just something I used, and this is the actual hole. I only did this for one specific drawer, and I mean, it's a basic idea of, you know, you use it like if this is the top of the drawer, I think is what I would do, and then I would pop it in, and then I would drill the hole here, and it would be consistent on every drawer, and I would make sure that it was centered. So I would do this every time. So I would make sure that, you know, assuming my drawer face was built correctly, that my drawer holes for my pulls or knobs would end up being the same spot. So I decided to try the Kreg. This one's a little different because it's adjustable. I'm not going to crack it open out of the package, but I think you can probably look online and get the idea. They have other, of course. They've started putting these out. I think these are, you know, they've been expanding their line. You know, everybody knows about their pocket hole stuff, and of course they, you know, I've got a Kreg jig, a small one. I don't really use it too much, but you know, the basic idea is you can use this to adjust and then drill your holes, which is really nice. So that's basically that one. And then the last thing I picked up is this Kreg drawer slide jig. Now, when I've done drawer slides and install them, usually what I do is I'll figure out what my spacing is going to be, and then what I'll do is I'll clamp like a piece of wood. This isn't a good example, but basically a piece of wood along the side of a cabinet, and then I'll have spacers that I'll make sure that they're consistent on both sides of you know, where I'm going to put my drawer slides at, where I'm drilling my holes for the screws to hold the slides. And it works, but figured I'd give this a shot too. There's a pair of them, which is nice. You know, the downside is, and part of the reason why the method I use kind of works pretty nice, is even if maybe they're not perfect to where I'm at, they're always going to be exactly the same, assuming my case is square, because I use spacers to make sure that I'm building up. So like if this is be like one side, I'd have a spacer on this side, and then I'd have a spacer on, you know, the other side, and I would walk them up to make sure that everything was right. And then they would always be a good spacing. So anyway, I figured I'd give this a shot too. Kind of sad, these are all made in China. In fact, everything I bought was made in China, which is odd. It's kind of odd for Lee Valley to sell stuff like that, but I guess Krag being such a big name, it kind of doesn't matter. The Shenwan one is the one that really kind of surprises me. Anyway, so that's really about it. You know, this is just kind of going through real quick. I'm not really going to cover any of this stuff unless maybe down the road I might, if I use it and there's something I want to point out about it, or you know, maybe it's better than I expect, or something about it, or maybe it's terrible. But anyway, that's about it for this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Just basic, something to cover. And as always, thanks for watching.